Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name's Carnic Unreal and yes, I've gone and done it. I bought a Bambu Labs X1 Carbon Combo 3D printer.
Ta-da!
So, when this was delivered the other day, as you can see on the label, this side up, glass, fragile, handle with care. But when delivered by a certain delivery company, all this was upside down.
What?
Luckily, everything was okay as you'll see in the video. So let's get down to unboxing and setting up the 3D printer. So just be aware, the box is quite heavy. The printer is well packaged, so something like a Stanley knife or something similar would be suitable to unbox it. As you can see, the box inside is really well packed.
Squishy.
So remove all the packaging and lift the printer out of the box, making sure it's on a flat, safe surface.
Safety first.
When I purchased the printer, I was under the impression I would only get one reel. Took the printer out and there's 3 reels, so bit of a bonus there for me.
A nice bonus.
I have to say, I'm not well versed with 3D printers.
Really?
But if you follow the instructions provided by Bambu Labs, you shouldn't have any problem whatsoever. There is now a lot of plastic and strong tape to be removed to actually get to and into the printer, so let's speed things up a little. Once you've done this, take off the packaging from the top and remove the box. In this box is all the tools.
Get the following. Tools, check. I got tools.
In this box there is a monitor, some sachets of grease and some other spare parts. There is an extra nozzle, a spool holder, a power cable. There's also 2 attachable cable connectors. In the other compartment there was a tube with some kind of spring or spare part in, but I'm not going to guess at which it was. There is also 2 small Allen keys for loosening and removing the screws attached to the AMS. Now, the AMS is actually inside the printer and needs to be released. It's attached by a few screws. If you can see where I'm unscrewing there, I'm dropping the Allen key. There are 2 red arrows. Anything that's on the printer that's marked with one of these red arrows means that there is a screw attached that needs loosening and removing to release certain parts.
Screw.
Once you've undone and removed the screws, you can then lift the AMS up and out of the printer and just place to one side. Once you remove the AMS from the printer, you'll be left with the base which held the AMS in, some desiccant and some other bits of packaging and foam. There will be foam underneath the plate as well, which can be removed later.
Everything's covered in foam.
So now the base which was holding the AMS in place has to be removed. So again, it's not a great angle I know, but there's 4 red arrows. These have to be loosened and removed using the Allen key, the longer one. Once loosened, the base will just lift up and out the top, and you can put that to one side. Once you've removed the plastic base plate, there will be 3 screws revealed with red arrows pointing at them. One will be on the right, one on the left, and one right at the back in the centre. A little tip here, when removing any surplus packaging or foam, was shine the torch on the back of my phone through the little plastic poop scoop at the rear of the printer.
What?
If you do this, you can see if the scoop is clear, as there was a piece of foam in mine when I did it. So now that the inside of the printer is clear, we can start adding the attachments. This first attachment is the monitor that attaches to the front of the printer. Once the monitor is unwrapped, there are some instructions on the back of the monitor on how to connect and attach to the front of the printer. If you're unsure which way up the monitor should be, the instructions on the back of the monitor should be at the top, and when the monitor's facing you, the SD card should be on the right. The cable at the front of the printer clicks quite easily into the back of the monitor. Once the cable is connected to the monitor, there are 4 L-shaped legs on the back of the monitor which should fit 4 holes on the front of the printer. Once you've placed the monitor in the holes, if you slide left, the monitor should just click into place. And then one of the best parts, removing the plastic. At the back of the printer, there are two screw holes. These are for the spool holder. The spool holder comes in a bag with two separate screws. Where the spool holder is attached, there's already a screw in the right-hand hole. This needs to be removed with the Allen keys you got in the box earlier. Once you have done this, you can then attach the spool holder. It is marked so you can attach correctly. It is quite tricky to get the first screw in as the long Allen key is needed, but once it is in, it is easier to attach after that. Now that the spool holder is attached, you can now attach the AMS to the printer. First of all, though, you need to replace the glass plate on top. This should fit into the grooves quite smoothly. So, once the AMS is placed on top of the printer, there should be a tube attached with some tape, which can then be inserted below into a little opening. When inserting the tube only needs to go in maybe an inch or two at most. You'll know if the tube's in correctly, as there should be a bit of grip on the tube, and you shouldn't be able to pull the tube out if you give it a little tug. Now to connect the two adapters which were in the box. The two adapters are different lengths. The shorter adapter connects to a socket under the spool holder and another socket underneath where the tube was placed earlier. The longer adapter connects to a socket at the side of where the tube was placed earlier and into one of the two sockets in the back of the AMS. Don't worry about putting the wrong adapter in the wrong socket. One of the adapters has 4 pins and one of the adapters has 6 pins, so one can't go into the other. Once both adapters are connected, you now get the reward.
Reward?
Now that the AMS has been attached and the plastic removed, there are just a couple of things to do. Firstly, remove the spare tubes that have been supplied. Next, there are 2 taped detachable vents. Remove the tape from the cover and click open the vent.
The vents.
In each vent, you'll find some desiccant in a bag. The desiccant needs to be removed from the bag and placed back in the vent. Once this is done, return and click the vent cover back into place. Before we carry on with the AMS, there was something I noticed while doing this video. In certain places and areas of the printer, there can be tape, foam, packaging, plastic littered around or stuck anywhere in the printer. As you can see in the video, I found a little green sticker just on the head inside the printer, which was quite difficult to see. A good idea maybe to check the whole printer and do a quick once over once the printer is set up and ready to run. The next part of setting up the AMS is to insert some filament. I decided to go with the green filament which was provided for the printer. I had a little trouble removing the tape from the end of the filament. Once the spool filament is ready, place the spool into any of the slots in the AMS with the filament pointing towards you. You then need to feed approximately 1 to 3 inches of filament into the feeder hole in front of that spool. To do this, you need to push the feeder hole forward, allowing the filament to enter it. Once all this is done, you should be up and ready to go.
Yeah, woohoo!
So, let's get the printer started. Plug the cable in and let's rev her up. Once you've started the printer up, the Bambu logo should show up on the monitor. After a few seconds, the first of a few simple steps should appear. These need to be done to be able to proceed to the next stage. The first step is what language, so for me, and I assume for most people who are watching this video, it will be English. The next step of the process is asking which region, so for me this will be Europe. After this, you need to connect and enter your Wi-Fi password. I then downloaded the app onto my phone called Bambu Handy. Once I created an account on the app and connected to the printer, you then press next, and then I put on to the next stage, which is the terms and conditions. Once you've gone through the terms and conditions, you're given the option to help to improve everyone else's printing by giving information, or should I say sharing information. So for example, if you have an error and then you solve that error, that information that you use can be shared with the community. This is optional and you can skip or join. Once you've chose your option, the next step is calibration. When you start calibration, the process should be about 25 to 30 minutes long. While the printer is undergoing the calibration process, you now have the opportunity, if you so wish, to remove the foam that is under the bed. Once the calibration process is complete, you most probably will get a page like this, which is an update for firmware. If you've got decent internet, this should only take 5 to 10 minutes at most. Once your calibration is done and you've downloaded your firmware, you should be ready for your first print. For my first print, I chose the 3D Benchy. I chose this as I assumed it was a benchmark figure to print, plus it only takes 25 minutes to print as well. Make sure your AMS also knows what filament it is using. If it doesn't know, you can always tell it through the options. This is the printer printing at real-time speed. It is really quick. If you want to do time lapses though, you need an SD card. I would recommend getting one before you got the printer, if you want to record them. This is how the print looks on the app. As you can see, we don't have an SD card, as it says unable to record time-lapse photography. With this app, you can check how your print is doing, plus details like temperatures, etc. 25 minutes later, and the printer's done. The print seems to have come out very well. The letters on the bottom seem to be clear and precise. I'm very happy with that print. Because I was so happy with that print, I made the fatal error of letting my girlfriend choose the next print.
Uh-oh.
And yes, you can guess what happened next. A recorder was printed, and I've had sounds like this from that day on every day since.
I feel your pain.
As we had no SD card, we've done a partial time lapse by recording on our phone. In the future, I will be recording all of my prints and placing them on my channel. I've not got very many ideas at the moment on what I should print, so if anyone would like a specific print, or maybe give me some ideas, for example, like a collection or genre, or maybe just more videos like this of me learning as we go along. If you got this far into the video, I hope this video helped you, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe to the channel. Drop some comments or ideas below. Thanks again for watching, and hope to see you soon.